everyone. This is our midweek lesson. Welcome to the Jackson home. My name is Ashley and this is
Evan.
We are members of Sunset Hills Baptist Church here in Douglasville, Georgia, and we're bringing to you our children's lesson for the week, what we've been studying here at home. It's one of the blessings of this quarantine is we've had all this time we've never had before to really delve in and study and spend time with God that perhaps has been lacking in the past because of life in general. So, Evan, I'm pretty sure you've heard some crazy things going on in the news lately. What you been hearing?
That in some countries people have cured the coronavirus, and I'm like, what?
They haven't. No, close. That people have recovered from having the coronavirus. They haven't cured it yet, though.
Oh, sorry. I got that mixed up.
Hey, it's easy to mix stuff up. There's a lot of news going out there. But maybe you've heard some big words like furlough and unemployment.
I don't even know what furlough means.
You know what? And that's fine. These are big adult words that are really hard to explain. But a lot of people are getting furloughed, laid off. We've had words firing around like recession.
Like, you're fired. You have the coronavirus, so you're fired.
Nobody's getting fired because they have the coronavirus. But as a lot of companies shut down, they don't need as many workers right now. So maybe you're at home right now with your parents in quarantine, or maybe you have a mom or a dad that's still going out to work. And if you've got a parent that's still working, nurses, doctors, just know that they're in our prayers here at the Jackson home. We pray for them and their safety and pray that their efforts are not unnoticed by the world, because they're definitely still taking care of us. They're bringing us our food, and they're bringing us our health care, and they're bringing us all of our supplies. So God bless your parents if they're still working, and stay safe if you're stuck at home. So we have been hearing a lot of scary words, and when it comes to us Christians, even some of those words might scare us, especially words like depression and recession. Big, scary adult words. Recession's when the economy is not doing so great. Something you might not understand just yet, but it means that work might be difficult to find, and people may struggle a little bit getting money they need. So, we wanted to take some time to study God's Word when it comes to God providing. As something that has directed our study this week, go the way that God has always provided for His people. Because if you're one of His sheep, He's going to take care of you. So this led us to a few different stories in the Bible. Sure, what you want?
Whenever you are a lost sheep, you're not in the herd. But whenever you are in the herd, you're a saved Christian. Okay, that's all I need to say. And if you start to run out of the herd, Jesus will be like, back in the herd.
This is pretty accurate. So there are lots of stories. There are lots of stories in the Bible we can talk about that talk about God providing. When the flood was coming that covered the earth, what did God provide Noah?
A way to get. He was like, build a boat, an ark. In order to free every animal and your family away from the water. Make it be able to float and make it made out of wood.
But God provided the plans and the mission, right? Okay, so when Jesus was giving his Sermon on the Mount and they only had a little bit of food, all these people were going to leave if they didn't get fed. What did God provide?
Food. He was like copying food. Boy, 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 boy. And so there was so much food. Everyone was like, there's enough food. We can eat all that food.
So this led us to do a hunt in the Bible for different stories about God's provisions, about God taking care of His people. So we're going to read today from Evan's newest Bible. For those of you who don't know us personally,
Octopus Pages. It's
right.
An octopus Bible.
You can't see it yet. So for those of you who don't know us personally, Evan professed salvation last month here at home in the middle of one of our Bible studies. So as just a gift to give him to mark the occasion, we got him a brand new Bible. This is our newest Bible in our home. Look how cool this thing is. It has octopus tentacle pages.
Oh, show him the back of it.
The back. And they engraved his name on it for free. We picked this up from ChristianBook.com.
That is worth $10, that book.
Have a seat. Actually, no. We picked this up from christianbook.com for $5 and they engraved it for free. This is a Holman Christian Standard Bible. So the words are very simple for him to read. He does some Bible study and some reading on his own.
5,000 pages, $5 makes sense to me.
Yeah, that was a good deal. So they run sales like that all the time. So in case your child is having a hard time reading, maybe your King James or your NIV version Bible, might be worth picking up the HCSB Bible. It has been a blessing to our lives because it's a lot more detailed than a children's Bible because it has all of the verses and all of the chapters and all the books. But
it's the best children Bible ever.
Well, the best one we've found so far, especially for a child Evan's age. As he ages, we'll get more complicated and more accurate.
I'm 6 years old.
Yes, he is. Have a seat. So we're going to read from his Bible. Our Bible study led us to this story in the Bible this week. It's one that I had never heard before, and neither had my husband. Both of us sat there and talked about it for a long time after reading this the other night. So, this is from 2 Kings, chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. 2 Kings, chapter 4, verse 1 through 7.
Verse 1 through 7.
So have a seat, Evan. One of the wives of the sons of the prophet cried out to Elisha, "Your servant, my husband, has died. You know that your servant feared the Lord. Now the creditor is coming to take my 2 children as his slaves." Elisha asked her, "What can I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house?" She said, "Your servant has nothing in the house except a single jar of oil." Then he said, "Go and borrow empty containers from everyone, from all your neighbors. Do not get just a few. Then go and shut the door behind you and your sons and pour oil into these containers. Set the full ones to one side." So she left. After she shut the door behind her and her sons, they kept bringing her containers, and she kept pouring. When they were all full, she said to her son, "Bring me another container." But he replied, "There aren't any more containers." And the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, "Go and sell the oil and pay your debt, and your sons can live on the rest." So let's talk about what that means. So this woman, her husband was a man of God. He followed Elisha around probably because Elisha knew him, Elisha being a prophet. Do you know what a prophet is, Evan?
A prophet?
Yeah.
Jonah was a prophet, and Jonah was a prophet. A prophet teaches about God and Jesus.
Yes, and they know a little bit of things to come. They know about the future. Yep. And they share visions of the future sometimes. Okay. So her husband passed away and he owed some people money. But it was customary back then when somebody passed away that if they still had debt, you had to pay the debt off. So if I borrow $10 from you, give me $10. All right. And then I pass away. My husband's going to have to give you back that $10. Sit up. But what if I don't have that $10 to give you? Uh-oh. Well, back in the time of ancient Israel, what they would do is settle their debts other ways. And one of those ways was indentured servitude or slavery. They would make you work for free and give them the product of your labor until the debt was paid off. So she was sad because her 2 sons, were probably going to be taken as slaves because she couldn't pay her husband's debt off. So he said, "Go get a jar of oil from your house." This one thing of value. When he said, "What do you have in your house?" what he meant was, do you have anything of value in your house? She says, "I have this one jar of oil in my home." Now, this is where he tested her faith. he said, go get empty containers. Take that jar and pour it into other jars. Then you can sell it. This way you can pay off your debt. And oil was very valuable back then. But he didn't tell her just get the number of smaller containers that this jar could fill. He said, get as many as you can. Don't just get a few, get a lot of them. So she went house door to door to door to door. Hey, can I please borrow empty containers? As many empty containers as you can spare. Please, 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 please. So she got all these empty containers.
Yes.
Everybody's like, yeah. I'm sure they're her neighbors. They're her friends. They're like, sure, do you need an empty container? I've got 5 of them. Here you go. Well, she went home and she prepared these containers. She cleaned them up. She had them all laid on the floor. She was ready to fill these containers. Now, from us, in a worldly perspective, if my jar is this big, and I have several jars this big, but I've got hundreds of these little jars and one of these jars, I can't fill all these jars with just my one. So it took a measure of faith for her to even collect that many jars and believe what the prophet Elijah was saying, that she needed to fill all those containers with her oil.
Can you please get this stuff off of me?
There you go. So when she started pouring, imagine how her and her sons reacted after they filled the first 3. How about 4? And she was saying, bring me another container. And her sons brought her another one, and she's filling that one too. As she's pouring, it never stops flowing out. She needed a way to save her sons from slavery. Her and her husband always followed God. When she was in trouble, she turned to a man of God. And when she needed help, she didn't cry about it. She didn't cry as she sent her sons to slavery. She knew that Elijah would help her find a way. And she used her faith to fill all the vessels.
And then she was like, give me another one. And then the boys were like, there are no more.
There are no more. And then what happened when there were no more containers to fill?
They could do their husband's debt and also get their sons out of slavery.
They could pay off his debt and still have enough money to live on. That's amazing. God provided for this family, not because he just wanted to make a miracle. Her and her husband were faithful followers of God, and he found a way to take care of the members of his flock. It was her faith to collect that many containers in the first place that gave her enough oil to not only get out of the situation, but to find a way to survive for the near future. This is what is so important with our faith right now. As we're facing this quarantine.
God is the strongest thing on earth.
It's true. While we're facing this quarantine situation, while you may hear some big words from your parents, just be calm and know that no matter what happens from this, no matter what happens to our economy or anyone's jobs or with our homes or with their sickness, God will always provide a way for us to live, to survive and be fruitful and multiply. So that was our midweek lesson today. We're going to share a couple of pictures at the end of this video so you can get a better visual about this story. And we just wish you all the best. Take care. Spend your quarantine time wisely and make sure to reserve some time for God because he really wants to hear from you. Yep. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's pause this thing. Boop, boop. One more thing, everyone. Have a good week and always tell the truth. Bye-bye.